Is it on, bro? I don't hear myself. Come on. Huh? Okay. Yeah.
I loosen wings all the time, why would I wanna flush? Money down the toilet for something so inglorious. When I got a diamond mind, I shine through my stories, bruh. My status come from aura since I had baby fatty.
You are now listening to the Shaw Report with Damian Banks.
Hello.
What's happening? What's up? What's going on? It's the Shaw Report, and I am your host, Damian Banks. Shaw Bears alum and fans rejoice. This is your very own podcast hosted by moi, Damian S. Banks. This is the official podcast of Shaw University Athletics. Don't act brand new. You know how we do. Follow your boy on Instagram and Twitter at Sports by Damian. That's SportsByDaimeon. And Shaw University Athletics are on social media. On Twitter, it's at Shaw Bears. On Instagram, it's at SU_Bears. And on Facebook.com/Shaw Bears. Also, you can go to shawbears.com, download this podcast. Anything you want to find out about the goings on within the athletic department at Shaw University is on shawbears.com. Scheduling, rosters, coaches information, anything pertaining to Shaw University athletics is on shawbears.com. This is the Shaw Report. You can go to iTunes and find this podcast for free, for the low, for $0. Just search The Shaw Report. Also on Spreaker.com/Sports by Damian. Now that we got those particulars out of the way, back for another week's episode. Thank you for the support. It is greatly appreciated. Week in, week out, you guys show the love. I'm trying to show the love right back. And we're here for you. If you love Shaw University, if you love Shaw University athletics, you're in the right place. A lot of things going on within the athletic department at Shaw University. The seasons are wrapping up for men's, women's soccer, as well as football. I'll have those scores for men's, women's soccer later on in the podcast on the Shaw Bears scoreboard. Adrian Jones, the head coach of the football team, his Bears squad, they were in action this past Saturday against Raleigh rival St. Augs. I'll recap that as well on today's show. And I'll also update the CIAA scoreboard in football. Season is winding down. Last regular season games were played. There's going to be a couple makeup games due to the cancellations and the postponements from Hurricane Florence or Hurricane Michael. So a couple of makeup games in the CIAA, but the CIAA regular season is pretty much wrapped up, and I'll discuss that later in the show on the CIAA scoreboard. But you know, before I get started, I got to take a swig of this natural spring water over a bed of chipped ice. And if you don't like water, man, you don't know what you're missing. I know people love soda, they love juice, all this and that, man, but you got to drink water. You got to keep yourself hydrated. So let me take a swig of this natural spring water, and we'll get this show started. Man, listen, you haven't drank water until you drink a nice cold glass of natural spring water over a bed of ice. But I digress talking about that spring water. Again, you're listening to the Shaw Report. Again, I am your host, Damian Banks, where we give you the latest and the greatest in the Shaw University athletics department. First of all on the show, I just want to dedicate this show, man, to a dear friend of mine, Lewis McCallum, gone far too young, man. We called him Turnkey Lou. Turnkey 3 is the neighborhood that we grew up in as kids, man. And I lost a dear friend, gone far too young. He was 39 years old, ladies and gentlemen, gone way too soon. So, man, this show is dedicated to Lou. Lou was always very supportive of anything that I did, man. He was like the hype man friend. You know, he would always hype you up, and he would, you know, make you believe in things that you didn't believe in, that you couldn't do. Like, yeah, man, you can do it. Like, he was always real supportive of anything I do in life, especially the podcast. I do a podcast for Shaw University. Also do a lot of freelance sporting events within the state of North Carolina, man. And Lewis was always very supportive of me, man. Turnkey Lewis McCallum, man. This show is dedicated to you, brother. I love you, man. So with that being said, man, let's get into what happened this weekend between the Shaw University football team and the St. Aug's football team. It was the Raleigh Classic, man. Raleigh rivals Shaw University and St. Aug's met this Saturday, and it was a pretty good matchup on paper. Shaw has been red hot lately, man. Winners of 3 in a row, coming off their homecoming win against Winston-Salem State. And Shaw was going to be playing St. Aug's at the George Williams Athletic Complex. Now, it was a road game for Shaw University, but it was in Raleigh. Shaw is located in Raleigh. St. Aug's is located in Raleigh. They don't like each other. They're really close together. So this matchup every year is a big-time matchup. And the game played out the way that I thought it was going to play out. I knew that St. Aug's would come out fired up. Their last game of the season, they're trying to send their seniors out on a good note. And Shaw University may have come out flat because St. Aug's hasn't had the best of season. Shaw is riding a 3-game winning streak and a win on homecoming over Winston-Salem State, as I mentioned before. Shaw has been playing great football as of late. Head coach Adrian Jones and his staff have been shaping, they've been molding their squad, trying to get them to play the type of football that you need to play to compete for championships within the CIAA. So St. Aug's came out fired up, man. St. Aug's, they took a 7-3 lead into halftime, and they were leading 10-6 heading into the fourth quarter. And I wasn't able to attend the game, but I was able to track it online, and I was just looking at the stats, and Shaw's offense really hadn't done much in those first 3 quarters, man. And I don't know if it was a sense of urgency or a switch just turned on, man, and Shaw just turned on the juice in the fourth quarter, scoring 21 fourth quarter points. Quarterback Keon Marsh finished the game with 243 yards and a touchdown. Tevin Perry, 50 yards and a touchdown on the ground. Darrell McClain had a 13-yard touchdown run for the Shaw Bears. And after trailing 10-6 heading into the fourth quarter, Shaw really got going with a 29-yard touchdown pass from quarterback Keon Marsh to tight end Cavante Moses to give Shaw a 13-10 lead. And after a Justin Daniels interception, that set up the Bears' next score, a 13-yard run by senior running back Darrell McClain to give Shaw a 20-10 lead. Now, once Shaw got that lead, I think that they didn't look back. 19-yard touchdown run from Tevin Perry gave Shaw a 27-13 lead. 27-10 lead. And that will be the final score of the game as Shaw overcame a slow start to beat their Raleigh rivals, St. Aug's, 27-10. Again, run down some of those stats on offense, man. Big time game from Keon Marsh, 243 yards and a touchdown. Did throw an interception, but that interception wasn't costly. Cavante Moses, tight end, 29-yard touchdown reception. Kicker Benny Kinsemi, 2 field goals, 24 yards, 37 yards. Benny has really been coming on as of late, becoming a really reliable kicker. The junior out of Charlotte has been having a pretty good season. Defensively, Devin Hunt, he's the man. 17 tackles, career high, including a sack for Devin Hunt, who I think I'm going to cape up for Devin Hunt right now. I really think he's going to be named the CIAA Defensive Player of the Year. He's been playing lights out, leading the conference in tackles. And with the improvement record-wise from Shaw University, Shaw is 5-4 right now, 4-2 in the Southern Division. And that's a big improvement from the previous seasons. And Devin Hunt is largely to play a part for that big improvement. Also defensively for Shaw on Saturday versus St. Aug's, Andrew Cash had 10 tackles. Also 2 interceptions for Karan Hall, and again 1 interception for Justin Daniels. Shaw defensively held St. Aug's to 274 yards of total offense, created 3 turnovers, only allowed 94 yards passing. So the defense has been playing great as of late. Offense has been putting points on the board, and Shaw is riding a 3-game winning streak. And you couldn't pick a better time if you're head coach Adrian Jones and his staff to have your team playing their best football. Now, unfortunately, Shaw, with that 4-2 record, they're not able to represent the Southern Division in the CIAA championship game held this Saturday in Salem, Virginia. But man, no one wants to play Shaw University right now. Now, due to a postponement with Chowan earlier in the season because of Hurricane Florence. Shaw is going to hold a conference game this Thursday, 1 p.m., Durham County Memorial Stadium with Chowan. They're going to make up that game. So it's going to be the last game for Shaw University of the regular season. Last time that, a lot of seniors for Shaw University are going to be able to put on that jersey. So if you're able to attend that game, 1 p.m. this Thursday at Durham County Memorial Stadium, man, come out and support the Shaw Bears as they take on Chowan for the last game of the regular season. I'll be in the place. Hopefully, man, they'll have those fish plates on and popping, have that grease fired up, have that fish, that chicken. You know how I do, man, with the fish. I mix the tartar sauce with the hot sauce with the Texas Pete, make like a hot Thousand Island, but you know how we do. But I digress. If you're in town, if you're able to get away from work, or if you're off work this Thursday, Shaw University will be taking on Chowan at Durham County Memorial Stadium to make up a game that was postponed earlier in the season due to Hurricane Florence. But again, Shaw University 27, St. Aug's 10 from this past Saturday. Shaw University gets that Raleigh Classic trophy, gets to take it back to the crib. Until next year, St. Aug's, better luck next time. Again, man, congratulations to head coach Adrian Jones and his staff, man. You can't say enough about the improvements that they've made both offensively, defensively, and just as a team as a whole, man. They're learning to win games in a multitude of ways. They get down, they come back and win. They get a lead, they sustain that lead and win. Benny Kinsemi has become a consistent field goal maker. The defense led by Devin Hunt playing great football. Keon Marsh playing the best football of his career in his senior season. And the others, Shaw is just finding ways to win ball games, man. Culminating again in that 2017 win against Raleigh rival St. Aug's. The Bears are now 5-4 overall, 4-2 in the Southern Division. Again, this Thursday, the makeup game with Chowan, 1 p.m., Durham County Memorial Stadium. Ladies and gents, we rocking, we rolling. I gotta take this commercial break though, drink a little bit of this natural spring water and pay some bills. If you have to go anywhere, come right back. You're listening to the Shaw Report on Spreaker Radio. Hey Shaw Bears fans, refresh your game day with the new and improved real Coca-Cola taste of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar with 0 calories and 0 sugar. It's college sports' newest tradition. Grab an ice cold Coca-Cola Zero Sugar and taste the feeling. Coca-Cola, proud sponsor of Shaw University Athletics.
You are now listening to the Shaw Report with Damian Banks.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to the Shaw Report. Again, I am your host, Damian Banks. You know what time it is. You know how we do. Don't act brand new. Follow your boy on Instagram and Twitter at SportsByDamian. That's SportsByDamion. And Shaw University Athletics are on social media. On Twitter, it's at Shaw Bears. On Instagram, you can find Shaw at SU_Bears and on Facebook.com/Shaw Bears. Thank you guys, man, again for listening to the Shaw Report. I'm humbled by, just the support and love that we get for the show. When I go to the games, I see people in the stands, man. Shout out to the SID too of Shaw University. I call her boss lady, Miss Jo Williams, man. She put me on, and she put me in the program actually at the football game. So now I walk around the stadium, and people are like, "Hey, man, that's the guy that's in the program that does the podcast, the Shaw Report." You can find the Shaw Report on ShawBears.com every Monday. Also on iTunes, search the Shaw Report, or you can go to Spreaker.com/SportsByDamian to support the podcast. Again, man, this podcast is dedicated to a dear friend of mine. Lost him a little over a week ago. Lewis McCallum, called him Turnkey Lou, my homeboy from way back, man. Gone far too young. I wasn't able to attend Shaw University's big football win over St. Aug's this past Saturday. I was at Lou's funeral, went to the wake. Went to the funeral, man. Had to get out of there a little bit early, man. I hate to see people go, man. And I just want to remember folks, in my mind, how I loved them and how I remembered them. So shout out to Lou, man. Gone way too soon. Lou was doing good things in the community, man. Trying to, really make an impact on the community and on his kids' life, man. I know his kids are going through it. I know his family is going through it. But, like they say, God has a plan. Sometimes we may not understand that plan, but we gotta we got to just trust in the Lord, man, and trust that, everything happens for a reason. And, we're going to